This morning, JiuJitsuMania is proud to be in Northridge, California at the School and Academy of Romulo Barral, multi-time world champion. And Professor, thank you so much for spending the time with us. It's Sunday morning now, the morning after the No-Gi Mundials, 930 competitors. It was a great tournament. I was taking pictures there, and you were screaming in my ear right behind me from the stand, so I know you love the competition as well.
Of course.
So tell us a little bit about your background, how you got started in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then today you and I were talking about the mental aspects. At the tournament yesterday we saw some excellent fighters, guys that we've seen fight and trained with before, and they never run out of gas. And then they get in the tournament and all of a sudden, you know, they're gassing after 2 minutes, they're forgetting their technique. So if you could talk about that mental approach a little bit later in the interview, that's what I'd like to focus on today.
I would love to do that.
So your background in Jiu-Jitsu, how long have you been training? You got your black belt when?
You know, like I'm gonna start like when I really started in Jiu-Jitsu. You know, of course I trained martial arts since I'm a little kid, but when I took very serious in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was 15 years old. I moved to a small city in Brazil, to a big city to find, you know, like the best place to train. You know, like I came from a small town they call Diamantina, Minas Gerais, and then you know, like I was 15 to turn, you know, like 15 years old. I moved to a big city without mostly like you know, nothing there, knowing nobody, and then just to, you know, like to follow my dream to, you know, to become you know, like a fighter. Not a fighter. When the beginning was to be a fighter, but they changed when I started to train Jiu-Jitsu. Then I took a little bit serious Jiu-Jitsu. They changed, you know, like my mentality about that, you know. But basically, I started when I was 15. And then has been 13 years that I trained really serious, you know, like and then has been a great journey.
And when did you get your black belt?
I got my black belt in December 2005. It's gonna be 6 years in December, so probably get my second degree. That'll be great. And
tell us about the success you've had on the competitive circuit.
Yeah, you know, like I have, you know, like been, you know, like I had been in a few tournaments, not the way that I wish, you know. We're gonna be talking about, you know, like most of this later, but you know, like I reached, you know, like most of my goals to become a world champion black belt. You know, I did, you know, like 2 times, and then I have been in 3 finals of the open weight. It was the, you know, like one of the biggest. On the biggest tournament in the world, the, you know, World Championship with the gi, and then be on the final 3 times was a great experience. You know, of course, I still want to get the gold. I never got, but I think that was my biggest accomplishment. You know, like become like a 2 times World Champion black belt, and then be in 3 finals of the open weight. You know, like I really, you know, like I'm really happy to, you know, with this performance, and then you know, like it's something that I really trained my whole life to be that.
So talk to us about those competitive nerves, and most importantly for those of us who are going to compete in tournaments in the future and have to deal with that, how do we get a handle on what goes on mentally which drains our gas tank and kind of steals our brain power?
Yeah, you know, definitely it's something very important to be talking about. You know, I have been passed through a lot of, you know, like a lot of things in all my career, especially like the mental game, you know, like it's something that's very important, you know, like I was talking before about, you know, like people that they have a crazy cardio inside the gym, you know, they can do like a crazy workouts, they're really in good shape, but when they put into the tournament that you're gonna be like on the front of a lot of people, and then you're gonna do like really do your, you know, like your job that is going to go up there and then compete, you know, it's become a little bit more serious. They get on your nerve. You know, and then it's mostly it's mental, you know, like it's what you're thinking before you're gonna compete, you know, like where is your head? It's really there on the tournament. You worry about things, you worry about a lot of stuff going in your mind, you know, like I said, you know, like I have been through both sides. The side should be, you know, like with all the, you know, like the mentally strength, be prepared to, you know, like to anything, and then has only positive things, and then become you know, a champion. And then I have been on the other side about having the bad thoughts. If this happen, you know, like if somebody catch me on this position, if I pass my guard, if they, you know, like mount, if I tap, you know, like and then be on both sides, you can really tell, you know, like what you do during this time, you know, like I'm pretty sure during the competition it's something very important, you know, like they mentally prepare, like before you even step on the mat. Once you're in the tournament, you be, you know, like it's something really hard, but you need to be having like a, you know, like a good thoughts on your mind. What you gonna do? You know, like what you gonna, you know, like you're gonna pass the guard, you're gonna mount, you know, you're not gonna gas, your tank is full of, you know, so you gotta be think about that. If you have doubts on your, you know, on your mind, you know, that's gonna affect on your game. You know, it doesn't matter how good you are, it doesn't matter, you know, like how great shape you are. If you have, you know, like the doubts, the bad thoughts on your mind before you step on the mat on the big competition or small competition, that is gonna have a big effect on your game. You know, you're gonna gas, you're gonna get tired, you're gonna forget about everything. You know, so the mental game, it's something very important in sport. You know, it's a lot of things that is gonna be, you know, like connect together. You know, like I can give examples here. First, you know, like good thoughts, what you're gonna do. Second, you know, like being like you know, like be ready for anything, and then not let like anything like affect your mind, like such as you know, like if I get a bad position. If you get a bad position, you need to be prepared to get away, and then, you know, like a reverse, like the fight, you know, like it's a mental game. It's something so important, you know, like that. You know, like if you have idea, it's like take a time to understand. You know, like that's why you become as a blue belt, and then you go through all those things, you know, until you be really prepared to, you know, to pass all those things.
So, assuming that somebody's trained hard, they've done well in the gym, they're very, very confident, they get to the tournament, they wake up, they're excited, and then they get to the tournament. They walk in the doors, they hear the crowd noise, they see the other competitors, and then the flood starts of doubt and negativity. At that point, what can someone do to break that negative cycle and regain control mentally before they step on the mat?
You know, like that's something very important. You know, like I think it's like put a good thoughts on the people, you know, like mind. You know, that's the part of the coach or somebody that you trust, that you'll be talking, and then that you pass to them this issue that you're having. You know, for example, if it was me, I'll, you know, like get together with somebody that I really trust and that it make me confidence, and then I'm gonna say, man, I don't know, you know, this guy is so good, and I'm gonna compete against him. And then, you know, like he needs to be able to guide me to overcome this problem, and then be able to, you know, like to change my mentality before I step on the mat. You know, so I think that's something very important, to always have somebody that you trust that can, you know, like make you overcome this issue.
Great. Well, Professor, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and knowledge with us, and we know that's going to benefit a lot of people, particularly those who are going to face those pre-tournament nerves. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.